Hi all, welcome to episode 14 of Loch Briar Knits, a podcast where I talk about knitting, hand dyeing, and a few random things that come up. I'm Kelly, your host. I'm coming to you from a very sunny and warm Nova Scotia, Canada. It is September 16th. And this is pretty much our September weather. We get our summer, I think, in September. So it had a couple days there where it was feeling like fall and then it got warm again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to fall, but I do like this weather. It's nice. It's not too hot. You could probably go out in your jeans and a shirt and not die until later in the afternoon, and then you're really going to start questioning your wardrobe choices. But anyway, so welcome to all the returning viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for coming back. I think we're at 114 now, so we did go well over the 100 subscriber mark. And also welcome to all of the new viewers. If this is your first time, thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy the podcast and that you'll return. Hit the subscribe button. I never remember which side it's on. Hit the subscribe button if you want to be notified when there's new episodes out. And hit the thumbs up if you enjoy the podcast. That kind of helps get the word out. So last episode, episode 13. Wait, is this episode 14 or is this episode 15? Show notes. Blurry. Okay, wait. Because now I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe it is 15. No, it's 14. It is 14. Welcome to episode 14. I'm so on the ball. So where can you find me? I'll take care of that first. And then we had a giveaway for hitting the 100 subscriber mark. And I'm going to announce the winner. Right after tell you where to find me, which is here, clearly. You can find me as Loch Briar Knits on Etsy, which is where I sell my hand-dyed yarns. There's a Loch Briar Knits Ravelry podcast group in Ravelry. You know what? One of these days I'm going to get this intro down, and you people are going to think you're at the wrong podcast. So, anyways, I will put up a little bar. But on Instagram, I'm most active, and I'm there as Kelly L. Boyce, and my username on Ravelry is Loch Briar. I think that's everything. Giveaway. I had a question down below on episode 13, and all you had to do was answer the question, and that gave you a chance to win two things. This is Fleece Artist, and they're a local hand dyer, and this is their Nova Scotia colorway, and I weep to part with it, but I know it's going to go to a good home. And also one of my new Christmas colorways, which is on Yak Yarn, and this is called Old Timey Christmas. So the winner had to answer the question, what song is in constant rotation on your current playlist? So for me, it was Wheat Kings from the Tragically Hip. So the winner of the two skeins of yarn, I did a random number generator, but foolishly I had everybody put their answers in the comments down below. And what I should have done was send you over to Ravelry because they number everything. So I had to assign a number to everybody's name. And then I did a random number generator, came up with number 2, which belonged to Lori Adams. So congratulations, Lori. These are going to come your way. So you can either message me on Ravelry, or I'll put my email down below here, and you can just shoot me an email and tell me where to send these goodies to. All right, so congratulations, and thanks to everybody for taking part. That was great. Some of the song choices were ones that I hadn't heard before, so I was like, oh, I got to go Google that and find out. And of course, then I forgot to write down what Lori's was, but for some reason I'm thinking the song began with the letter D. So that should narrow it down completely, right? So, Lori, these are coming your way. Just let me know where to send them. And thanks to everybody who is subscribing and coming back to watch the podcast with each episode. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. So that's that. And I think that's everything for administration. I'm looking down at my notes on the floor. I put them far away that I can read them without my reading glasses on. Okay, so yeah, I think that is everything for administration. Quick and dirty today. So that means we're going to move on to, let's do whips. We're going to move on to whips because I have a lot of faux. I may have a record number of faux and also a hoe. And then just some general whips. So let's do that. Notice anything different? I finished my Grocery Girl shawl. Grocery Girl. I keep calling it the Grocery Girl shawl. It seems every time I talk about this, I have just been watching the Grocery Girls podcast. So this is the girl from the grocery store shawl, which was actually, I think, named after the Grocery Girls. It's by Joji Locatelli. And I did show this to you on the last episode, but it wasn't, the ends weren't woven in and it wasn't blocked. So I did that this week and I love it. I love it. So I'm going to, set that over there. I'll hold it out now that it is blocked in all of its fine glory. And it's really, I love it. I may make another one of these. I may make it for somebody else. So here, la 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 la. Here we go. Woo! You know what? I'm really, really happy about the color choices that I made. I was a little iffy in the beginning. I mentioned that a couple times. I didn't know if the purple was going to blend too much on the stripes, but you know what? I love it. So it's actually a little warm today, so I'm not going to keep this on, but for now. You know what, too? I am not one of these people who can just, throw on a shawl and have it look, you know, like some people can just go and it looks like, wow. And I'm looking at them going, how did you do that? I do that and it looks like it's all discombobulated and yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Ta-da! I'm only going to leave this on for this section because it's really, I soaked it in lavender scented eucalyptus. So it smells really nice too. But it's nice and soft now that it's been like blocked and everything. So that's my faux, which is sort of from last episode, but it's completed. Ends woven in, blocked, ready to wear. So that's not my only faux. It's not. This morning I finished my Sockhead hat. This is, I think, Sockhead hat. This is Sockhead hat number 3. I am clearly obsessed with the Sockhead hats. I should really start knitting them for other people now because I probably have more than enough. But I don't do the rolled brim on it. That's about the only modification that I make. And I'm really happy that my hair's a bit longer now, so you can actually see it when I put a hat on. But slouchy hat, kind of, I think I don't do the full 9 inches from the edge to the thing. I think I do about 8 because I got a bit of a smaller head. So that's it. And that was knitted. That was knitted in, where's my leftovers here? There it is. And I have a lot left over. And I love this yarn. This was Handmaiden Cashbah line, and I don't think they had a name on it. Or did they? But that was Handmaiden from their Cashbah line. Get that to focus. So there's a lot left. And their Cashbah line, it is so incredibly soft. Like crazy soft. I love it. So I don't know, I want to, but I do. I love this color. I think this is my favorite of all the Cashbah colors that I have knit with, and or that I currently have in my stash, because I do have a few others. Oh, that's a Cashbah. Where's that one? Oh yeah. So you know what? That would make a really nice fade. Anyway, so I do have some more, and I think I actually may have even more than that, because I think I have some caked up. So, big fan of the Handmaiden Cashbah. So I've got to figure out something to do with that, and I'll have to weigh it and see what I've got left exactly. But I'm ready for fall and winter, people. Well, I'm not ready for winter. I hate winter. But I'm really ready for fall and late fall and maybe early winter. And the last faux. Yes. The last faux. Finally. Do, my lavender field socks. I love these. These actually have two different heels. I don't know if maybe that'll show up. So these have two different heels. And that was just because I had accidentally switched patterns. My head's getting warm, and I'm probably going to have hat head now for the rest of the podcast. I didn't block that. You know what? I don't block my hats. I don't. So these do have two different heels, and that's just because this was the first pattern, or the first sock I did, and I was following one pattern, and then I totally got myself screwed up when I started the second sock, and I was following I started following one pattern and then switched to another one, which totally threw me off. So one pattern had this heel, one pattern had this heel. So I don't think it's going to matter. I mean, you know, I don't think anybody's going to be checking out my heels and then saying, hey, you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, hey, that's a lovely yarn. You should replicate that and put it in your shop. This was a one-of that I did when I was just kind of starting out learning how to hand dye. But I know what colors I used in it, so I think that's going to definitely be easy to replicate. And I really like that yarn. Oh, it's really nice. So I just used a 2x2 ribbon cuff, total vanilla sock, and then I do like a bit of a rounded toe Kitchener stitch, and I do the heel flap gusset because I haven't learned how to do the fish lips kiss heel yet. So yeah, someday I will. Someday I will. There's all these different heels that I hear people using, and I'm like, I think I'm just going to get the basic vanilla sock down with the heel flap gusset, and then I'll move on and start branching out. So that's, and those are on my loopy U sock blockers, and it's actually, they're just on there fairly loose. They're not like stretching out too much, which is good because they fit perfect. So that's that. That is, I take this off because it's getting kind of warm. That's my finished objects. So that's 3 finished objects. I was really happy with that. I must have clearly been on a tear. My husband was away. Sorry, I'm totally flashing everybody here. My button's undone. Gratuitous boob shot. There. Okay. My husband was out of town for Sunday night, Monday night, and then I think he got get home really late Tuesday, like around 11:30 at night. So I spent the time knitting and catching up on Outlander, trying to finish season 1, which I still haven't, but I'm getting there. I don't watch it when he's here just because I know he's not that interested in it. And I don't know what it is, but if I'm watching a show that I really like and the person I'm watching it with isn't interested in it, it really sucks the fun out of it for me because it's like I feel like I'm torturing them with something they don't want to see. So that is, sorry, I'm just going to toss those over there. That's my finished objects. Hat, socks, shawl, bring on fall, which was an unintentional rhyme. So I have one hoe. La la la. Seriously, people. Finally, this is on my Forest and Sky colorway, and this was one of the 4 that sort of got stuck on the needles when I screwed up the pattern, my sock pattern, and then had to sort of go back in and figure out what I did. So that's all ready to go. It's all sewn up. Did the same thing, this vanilla sock, 2x2 ribbing. I think I did on these ones, I did 62 stitches, and I was using a size 0 needle. If I use a size 1, I do 54 stitches, and if I go down to my zeros, I'll usually do 62 depending on the weight. This was on my classic base, 75-25, and it's a little bit of a more narrow yarn. So I'll usually do 62 on that. So this is done. I still have the other one to do. I haven't cast it on yet. But I have cast on another new pair of socks, which I wasn't going to do, but anyway, I love it. I love how it turned out. There's, I think, still two skeins of this yarn left in the shop right now on I think it's on the classic base that it's left. So, now I just have to cast on sock number 2. I keep this up on, my feet are not going to get cold this winter. I am going to have plenty of socks. I have to start doing my sock knitting for Christmas though. But yeah, so that's the hose and faux. So as far as whips, I did a little work on my sweater, and by little I mean a little. And here's what I've kind of figured out. And do I have the ball band? Yeah. So this is my sweater. I'm doing the Daydream sweater by Heidi Keirmmaier, I think is how you say it. Keirmmaier, I think that's how you say it. And I'm doing it on silky wool, which is 45% wool, 35% silk, and 20% nylon. So that's what it's being done on. I don't know how well that's gonna. So that's on the silky wool. That's by Elizabeth Levold, Designer's Choice from Italy. Anyway, so this is, it's kind of a sagey green color. I don't know how well, because my camera does not like green. But that sort of looks a little brown there, and it does have brown undertones to it, but it's like a sagey, greeny brown. So here's where I am. Let's bring it out here. So I haven't made a lot of progress, and I have discovered some goofs that here's the thing. see if I can stretch this. This is how much I have done. So I'm almost ready just to sort of attach and start doing the yoke. I think I have about 14 more rows. So here's some of the things I've noticed. Which side is it on? Here. So my make one left, make one right. I kept screwing up. So I've got some holes there, and I don't know if that's going to show up for there. I've got a couple of those, and then I think I have one over here. So I've got these gaps where I screwed up. I don't know if I have any over here or not. It's something here. Oh yeah, that was that. Yeah, on the back I've got like this little, I don't know what that's from. So I have made quite a few goofs so far. And I've decided, I was kind of thinking, should I, tick back and start all over? And I was like, you know what, I really don't want to do that. I just want to keep moving forward. And here's what I've decided. I am going to use this as like a learning curve. This sweater is my learning curve sweater. So I'm going to keep going because I think what I really need to do to get over this fear of knitting sweaters is just get through one, kind of get an idea of how a sweater is constructed when you're knitting it and the different kind of shaping things that you do, the different techniques, because I've never knit a sweater before. Don't know what I'm doing. Really don't know what I'm doing. So I think I just want to keep moving forward. So if this sweater ends up only being worn in the house or for just like kicking around or whatever, then that's okay. Because if I learn the process, the next one will be easier and better, and I can wear that one out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just keep moving forward, and I may just be able to fill in those gaps, and if I don't make any more hideous mistakes going forward, then hopefully that's going to be the worst of my issues, although I don't know. So, tea break. Getting thirsty. Again, my shop around the corner mug, but today I'm having Stash's ginger lemon. I like that one. It's my second favorite. It's got a nice little kick to it. By the way, I'm a big ginger fan. So if you're not, that's probably, you're going to think I'm crazy. There's these candies. It's like natural ginger candies that you can usually get in the health food section. They're called gin-gins. They are so good. And they're chewy. Like it's if you like ginger, honestly, I could sit there and eat the entire box of them. You're not meant to, clearly, but they're really good. Anyway, they're actually the color of this, which is weird. Anyway, so that's my plan with the sweater. I am going to literally just keep knitting through and see where it takes me and kind of learn as I go and use this as my starter sweater learning curve. I'm going to call it my learning curve sweater. So I'm going to rename it on Ravelry, learning curve sweater. So that's that. And is that no. So that's one of the whips. There's the ones that are kind of languishing, the starting point Cal, and my simple lines one is just kind of sitting over there. I also have, hang on, leaning. I've got sock number 2 of this that I have to start, and that's in my Mrs. Brown This bag. I love this bag. It's so nice. So that's going to be my hyper shirt sock. I haven't worked on. I've got the stitches all picked up along the side. So yeah, I just have to do the, we call that the gusset, and then the instep and the toe. So I should probably work on that this weekend because this is sock number 1. So if I can get that one done, then yeah. So that's that. And then the other last and final whip is in my Fringe Supply Company bag. This is great for like just smushing this bad boy up and, oops, sticking it in my bag to take to work. So this, I've posted this on Instagram. I am so madly in love with this yarn. It is insane. It's self-striping yarn from, sorry if I try to keep my needles from banging. It's self-striping yarn from Yvie Knits, who's out of Oshawa, Ontario, I think, or Ottawa. One of the O's, definitely Ontario. So this is her, it's called Day to Night, and it is really addictive. This one thing I find about self-striping yarn is you just like, oh, just one more row, one more row. But what I really like is you've got kind of the fat bars of color, and then you've got just like the thin strand in between them, and it goes from the gray to the blue, and then the dark. It's actually not black, I don't think. It's more of a dark charcoal gray for the narrow stripe. These are knitting up fast because I'm sitting there going, oh, I'm just going to get to the blue. Oh, I'm just going to get to the gray. Oh, I'll do another blue. And it's just, I cast these on the other day, and I've kind of been working on them religiously. So that's the first sock, but I don't think it's going to take too long to get those done. And I hadn't really intended to cast those on, but I just grabbed it one day going, I'm really curious to see how the self-striping looks, and then I was hooked. So that's the Day to Night Yvie Knits, and I think she's at yvieknits.ca, so she's got lots. I've got a lot of her yarn actually. Let's see what we've got, Kelly. Is this another self-striping one? Oh, it is. No, yes. This is her beach ball. Yeah, beach ball self-striping one. And then, oops, she's come undone. This is not self-striping. I don't think this is self-striping. No, this is just her regular sock yarn, which I might do a pair of socks for my brother for Christmas on that. And then this is another one of her sock yarns, which is, I love it, the nice rustic orange colors. And I think I have a couple more of hers, but they might, oh yeah, this is on her single space. This one's tapestry. So she does great yarns. They are so amazing to work with. Let's stick it back in. So yeah, I can't wait to work with more. But the self-striping, super addictive, and the colors are just stunning. I had planned on doing that for somebody else. No, it's gonna be for me. So I think that's everything for whips. I think that's it. So let's move on to what's in the queue. So what's in the queue? I have seriously got to start my Christmas knitting. And the big thing is going to be the surprise knit for my sister. So Allison, if you are watching this right now, turn away because I'm going to show the yarns, and I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it, but it's going to ruin it if you see them. So I'm going to count to 3 and turn this off. 3, 2, 1. Last chance. Okay. So I swear to God, Allison, if you're watching this, I'll kill you. My sister is in love with the North. So I am going to do a fade using the National Parks series that Fleece Artists put out in honor of Canada's 150th year of Confederation. So I have, and I'm going to use the dotted rays pattern. I was going to use the fade. I just really like the dotted rays, and I think it'll really show the colors up nicely. So here's the colors, and this is, each of them are named after a national park in the provinces and 3 territories. So these are the territories. I'm not going to try to say the name of the parks because I will butcher it, and anybody who's even from there is going to say, where's she talking about? So this is the Yukon. This is Northwest Territories, and this is none of it. Yes. Stop and think for a minute. So I am going to fade these together and make her a dotted rays shawl. So yeah, this is going to be the dotted rays fade, and I have to get to work on that because I definitely want to have it done. And I think she'll really, really like it. So yeah, that's in the queue. I may try to start that this week. Yeah, I may try to start that this week. Next up, my sister, 2 of my sister's kids wanted socks. So they wanted it made out of my handmade yarn or hand-dyed yarn, and they each had, I had dyed a colorway for my niece, and I called it Maggie's Garden. So she wants her socks made out of that. So this is Maggie's Garden. The purples, the colors actually are kind of washing out because that's what this camera likes to do. But there we go. It's purples and greens and hyacinth and a little pink in there as well. So that's going to be for her. And then my nephew, my sister's oldest son, is like me. He loves the color orange. So I've caked these up. This one is my colorway Burning Down the House. So that's got oranges and reds and whites in there. So I'm going to cast on one of those this week and get started. And that's it. I do have to do a pair. I'd like to do a pair for my brother and sister-in-law. I haven't decided yet what yarn I'm going to use. I sort of had in my mind that I might do this one for my brother. It's kind of a nice masculine color. So I don't know if they'll really appreciate knit socks, or if they'll just think, she got me a pair of socks. I don't know. Anyway, you eat socks, so suck it up. So those might be my brother's. And I don't know, like I don't know if they're going to appreciate it or not. And I'm like, do I really want to use like my nice hand-dyed yarn if I don't think they're going to appreciate it? Because I also have some Ernie's and Carlo's, actually. I have some Ernie's and Carlo's. But I might do my sister-in-law's on one of those. Maybe that one. Because I do want to see how that except these are the perfect ones. So I don't know. I don't know. See, I think it's a good Christmas gift. But I also have some of like the Patton's Croix. I've got some like that. And I've got, which one's this? Oh, that's Cascade. I really like this one, the Cascade yarn one. I don't know that she's really a pink person though. So I don't know. Either way, they're getting socks. You know, I have my brother's stocking because we exchange stockings amongst the adults every year. So I have his stocking. So I already know what I've got him for Christmas. So the socks were going to go as part of the stocking. So I think that's what I'll do. Anyway, that's pretty much what's in the queue. So what else? Acquisitions. And I was relatively well behaved. So this should be a short section. I think I just slurped. That's very attractive. So classy. So I went to the Loop, and I don't think I showed this the last time. I'm sure I didn't. Anyway, they had gotten in some log house cottage yarns, which I was interested in seeing up close and personal. So this skein I brought home. So this has, and again, you know, stupid camera and greens. This has lots of neon greens. It looks kind of yellow here, but it's actually neon. It's this crazy neon color, and it is so soft. These are going to be mine. Who am I kidding? But there's also, I'm such a selfish knitter. There's also like speckles in here with some other colors in it, just really faint. And there's not a lot of it in this different colors, but there's enough just that when you see it, it sort of pops. So this yarn is so incredibly soft. So this is Log House Yarns, and they are at loghousecottageyarns.com. I'm looking at that. I don't have my glasses on. I could have just totally read that wrong. loghousecottageyarns.com. I was right. And this is their 8-ply squishy sock, 80/20 superfine merino nylon, 420 yards. So, and this is their snowflakes and starfish collection. It says each skein has an individual personality. So that's their, there you go. I don't know where they're out of. It was at the Loop, and a lot of times she gets local ones, but I love this so much that I realized I need some neon in my dyes. Yay, neons. This is just crazy. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So I can't wait to knit. I think that's not going to be too long before it gets cast on. That was my only, I think that was my only yarn acquisition. I'm trying to think. Oh, no, it wasn't. It wasn't, but I don't have the other stuff down here. I just bought 2 little Zauer balls to make a shawl out of, so I'll show those to you next time. The other thing I did, and this is probably going to crinkle a little bit, one of our other local yarn stores, Dartmouth Yarns, was having their 5-year anniversary. So I popped on over and I stocked up on interchangeables, Chago interchangeables. So I've got this, which is 40. Well, actually it'd be 37. Small, like 37, and then there's, I guess, small is the little attachment part here. And then I got, and I'm gonna need my glasses again for this, so I don't know, these kind of glare a bit, so sorry about that. The tips I got were US size 2, US 2.5, US 3, and US 4, which for those of you who go by millimeters, which I do, 2.75, 3 millimeter, 3.25 millimeter, 3.5. Which these were, I didn't have a lot. And then I also got the little, you know what I mean, ends, stoppers, whatever. I don't have a lot of these particular ones, and I may go back and get some different cables. But I was originally thinking that I would take those with me to Scotland when we go. And then I thought, no, I don't want a chance. I'm still kind of iffy. I know I should be okay flying to Scotland because we're flying WestJet and they're like, knitting needles are fine. They kind of give you the criteria. But flying back may be a bit iffy because the airport, it's basically, even though the airline says you can knit on the plane or whatever using these needles, so if you go through security, it's really up to them as to whether they're going to let you on the plane with the needles or not. So I've heard interchangeables are best, just because worst case scenario, they take the tips, but you can leave the wire, and if you've got a work in progress, you can leave that on the wire because they won't take that. So I'm going to detach everything before I get on the plane so that the needles are separated from the knitting itself. So if they do decide, no, we're not going to let you take that on, then they're not going to have to take the whole knitting thing, or I'm not going to have to slide it off the needle and then try to pick up stitches later. So anyways, I did want interchangeables regardless. So those are going to be for whatever. But I do have the Knitter's Pride Carbon. No, sorry, not the Knit. I'm trying to see. They're over there. I think it's Knitter's Pride or Knit Pro. I think it's Knitter Pride, with the wooden needles and the wire, like the wooden detachables. So I think those will be fine. I don't know. It's hard to say because when, you know, getting there should be fine. Coming home, no, I don't know. So that's that. And that's it for acquisitions. That's all she wrote. So I did a shop update that went live today, which is the 16th, but you're probably watching this after that. And there's some new fall colorways. There's a few Halloween colorways. There's a few Christmas colorways. And I usually do kind of small batches just because I'm doing it in my kitchen, so I'm not a big operation or whatever, so it's usually about what I can manage. As soon as I put the shop update live, these two sold out. So this one is September Morn, and that's one of the new fall colorways. And this one it's a Petunia. So both of these in the 75-25 sock base have sold out. So I'm going to actually dye up some more of these this weekend. So if you're on there, they still have, I think I have both of these in the Gush base, which is the MCN. And I think I have one of them in the Stellina, and I can't remember which right off the top of my head, and one maybe in BFL, which is the Twisted Sister base. So there are still, at least when I came down here, there were still 2 skeins left on different bases, but the 75-25 classic sock base is sold out for now, and I'll try to get those up within the next 2 to 3 days to get those replenished. So that's that. So yeah, so the shop update is live. I think there's probably 8 new colorways, 9 new colorways. Might even be more than that. There's a couple returning favorites. I had a couple more Rose Teaspoon Society that are up. There is some more Spring Explosion that's up. I think there was one other one, so I'm totally blanking on. Anyway, and there's still a few left from the last shop update. So I've started the autumn colorway series, which this was September, and I'm going to do one for October, and I'm going to do one for November. So keep an eye on those if you want to collect the whole series. I'm actually, when I do up the next batch for October and November, I'm going to do more than what I did originally on this one, and then I'll get a couple more, some more of these up as well. So that's that. The other thing I mentioned was when I said that I really needed to get some neon in my life, I ordered some fluorescent and neon dyes, and I'm trying to remember which one. I think I got green, pink, I have a bright yellow already. Trying to remember. I might have gotten a purple. So I got some really neon-y type ones coming. I also have a few new colorways that I'm playing around with. So I think once we get back from Scotland, I will have another shop update. I don't know what the date of it's going to be yet, but that will likely include the October skein from the Autumn Colorway series. So watch for that. And just a heads up, for the first week in October, if you order anything from the shop, it won't be shipped until the Sunday following, which I think is the 8th. So the shop's going to be on vacation mode for that week. So you can still purchase, but usually I try, if you make a purchase, I try to get it out, within the next day or two. But this one, if you buy it at the first of the week, it won't get shipped until the end of the week. So that's that, and I think that's pretty much it for To Die For. That was a short session. And I was gonna haul out all of this stuff, but you know what? This camera just does not do the colors justice. So I am going to do up some little bits on Instagram to show the colors, but they're also all listed in the shop right now, and you can just pop on over and take a look. And if you, I did up, sorry, I almost forgot, I can't believe I almost forgot that. Anybody who buys something, if you're listening to the podcast, there's a special coupon code, which is LBK Podcast, and I will pop that right down here so you can grab it. You can use that at the checkout, and that will give you 15% off your order. And that goes from now until the October 15th. So check out Instagram or the shop to get a look at all the new stuff and what's still in the shop for you to peruse. And don't forget the coupon code LBK Podcast. And I think that's it. I think that's everything. So now we can just go into total randomness. So total randomness. The trip to Scotland is barreling down. Clearly, I'm not going to have my sweater finished for that. And if I did, I don't know if it'd be wearable out in public, depending on how things go. But yeah, that's just that's not too far away. A few weeks, and then what else is going on? The The office reno, that's going to start, I think, shortly after we get back, maybe the weekend after we get back. I'm going to start hauling stuff out of here and painting the walls. I'm just going to go with kind of a basic white, and then I'm going to put the pops of color in on the walls with like pictures and things like that, so it won't be like stark. It'll still have some color to it. And then once the painting's done, I'm going to get my husband to do the floors, which I'm going to go with a laminate, kind of a nice gray. I have my desk picked out. Where did I put it? Because the one I've got here now is, I had it here originally because I would originally write down here, and I don't write down here much. I'll do my research and things like that here, but mostly this kind of houses all my research books and my dye books and my dye materials and my yarn. So I actually go when I do the writing, and I write at the coffee shop. So I don't need the bigger desk now, which is kind of like, you know, but what I do need is this it? Yeah. So let me just show you. We have an IKEA opening next weekend, I think. The 27th? No, sorry. 2 weekends. Shortly before we go away anyway. But what I want is this. It's a stand-up desk. It's got everything I need. It takes up hardly any room. It's like, you know, I can put like the printer down here on one of these, so that's going to like free up some room, because right now it's on like an end table. So between that and the desk, it's got that whole entire wall, and I could really use some more shelving units like this, which I'll probably also get from IKEA. So that's the plan. That's the plan. That's the reno. I'm probably going to start that about mid-October. Yeah, and I'd like to have it done by the end of the month. So that's that. My stepson's birthday is in a couple of weeks. He turns 14, and I think we're going to go do On Tree again, which is this great rope climbing, zip lining thing that's at one of the nearby ski resorts, Martok, and they also have like you're climbing up the trees, and there's all these rope obstacles to get from one platform to the next, and he crawls through it like he was born up in the trees. I'm usually close behind, but he's way ahead, and my husband is usually lagging a bit. He doesn't like the wobbling, which I think that freaks him out a little, but he loves the zip lines. All three of us love the zip lines, so you're motivated to get from one platform to the next, because once you get to the platform, you have to zip line to get to the next obstacle. So it's a lot of fun. It's really challenging. We did it last year and we loved it. So I think we're going to do that. And that's probably, I don't know if we'll be able to do that before we go away or not. His birthday is a few days before we actually head out to Scotland. So we may do it next weekend, possibly. But in between that, I have a book due coming up in November. I may have to push that date. I don't know. Because here's what happened. I'm writing away, and I'm struggling with the story, and I'm like, I don't, and I kept saying, you know, there's something wrong here. Something's not working. And then I kind of came to realize, I think it's the entire story that's not working. So I literally had to scrap everything I'd written for the past 2 months and start over with an entirely new story. So I'm now 2 months behind where I should be, and then we're going away for a week. So yeah, I've got to do a shit ton of writing. And yeah, so I'm probably gonna have to work weekends from now until the deadline, which I was kind of hoping to get away from this year, but what you gonna do? Clearly the book is not gonna write itself, which is unfortunate. It would make my life so much easier. So that's about it for randomness. I think that's all that's going on. So it is nice and sunny out there still, and it's supposed to stay that way all day. So I'm going to sign off and go enjoy the day because it's only, oops, shaken. It's only 11:30. So I'm going to go to the coffee shop and do some of that writing, and then maybe kick around and do some other things today. But yeah, so I will see you guys back here in you know what? You know what? My podcasting date is the day before we leave, I think, when I film. So I'm going to try to get something in. I don't know what it's going to look like. It may be very short, and I may have to film it a little earlier than usual, so I don't know how much content I'll have. But I'm going to try to get one more in before I go away, and then I'm going to do some little vlogs and stuff, I think, while we're there. I've got several yarn stores flagged that I'm going to visit, so yay! Going all the way to Scotland to buy yarn. And yeah, so thanks everybody for stopping by. Thank you to returning viewers and subscribers, and to all you new viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much, and I hope you'll come back. And remember just to hit the the thumbs up if you liked the episode, and hit the subscribe button to be notified of when the new ones are up. And I think that's everything. So thanks so much for viewing, and until I see you for episode 15, happy knitting. See you later.